show. Welcome to our program. I'm John Anklerberg. Thanks for joining me. We're talking about a fabulous topic and the last words of Jesus to the church. What are they found? They were found in the last book of the Bible called Revelation. And what we're doing with these tremendous scholars is we are taking you chapter by chapter through the events that God says are coming in the future. All right? And Ed, I would like you to summarize for the people that said, oh, goodness sake, I missed those first three. And here I am, so kind of bring me up to speed where you're at so I can jump in.
Okay, the book of Revelation opens in chapter 1 with a preface. The risen Christ appears to John on the island of Patmos and commissions him to write the book of Revelation. Then in chapters 2 and 3, you have the proclamation of Jesus to the 7 churches of Asia Minor. 7 letters written to 7 first-century churches, but the principles expressed in those letters apply to all the churches at all times. And then we saw the great problem in the book in chapters 4 and 5. John was caught up into the presence of God in heaven, saw the Lord on the throne, but could not figure out how anybody could get access to the presence of God, who was worthy to receive the scroll, open the seals, pronounce the judgments, and bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. And suddenly, through tear-stained eyes, he sees Jesus, the Lamb of God, appears in the throne, co-equal with God the Father, and Jesus is the answer to the problem. He comes and receives the scroll, opens the seals, and then we looked at the study of what those were all about, beginning then in chapter 6, as he opens the 6 seals and begins to pronounce the judgments that are the wrath of the Lamb poured out on the earth. Those chapters end with an emphasis on the wrath of God, and yet immediately in chapter 7, there's an emphasis on the mercy of God. There are actually people that will be saved out of this great time of tribulation, the 144,000, and then an innumerable host of Gentiles from every people, tribe, and nation.
All right, before I throw it to Mark, give me a summary of those seals that we talked about quickly.
Okay, in the first seal that he opened, you have the beginning of the riders of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, so to speak. The rider on the white horse goes out to conquer the world, representing the Antichrist. The red horse, number 2, war. The world was eventually plunged into war. And then the black horse, the 3rd seal, famine. And then the 4th seal, the pale horse, that represented death. In other words, the Antichrist is